Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to discuss illegal mining, the Amadiba Crisis Committee case, and Gold One's plant expansion project. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Now, following reports of illegal mining putting Johannesburg landmarks at risk, the DMR has instituted a ground stability study. Just tell us about that.
Yes, the Council for Geoscience is going to undertake this study, and we really want ground stability in Joburg because here we are sitting in the city of gold, and there were some very scary reports coming out at the weekend saying that there could be a situation where illegal miners perhaps use explosives underground. How close are they to the pipes that carry fuel? There could be an enormous fire, there could be enormous collapses. And I'm also worried about our water pipe. I mean, what about the big water pipes coming through from the Rand Water? How close are they to people who really don't do mapping when they start doing underground mining? They just look for opportunities. So we have a situation, though, that there's a lot of contradictory opinions. Even the Department of Mineral Resources is saying, yes, we're sending the Council for Geoscience in, but we don't believe there's any immediate threat. Well, we hope not. But the ones that are saying, no, the people who are causing the threat are really the formal miners, not the informal miners, is the Benchmarks Foundation. Now, they've come out with a statement. So perhaps both sides are spoiling their case with exaggeration, and someone needs to come down the middle. But this is South Africa. This is how it works, and this is how you get a spotlight on an issue. And the big thing is the issue. How are we going to sort this? How dangerous is it? Because you can imagine if the Sasol gas pipeline had to actually ignite, I mean, the consequences would be so alarming. But one sees that the Benchmarks Foundation is defending the illegal miners. And they are saying that, some of the listed companies that have been mining there, they are a greater danger. They're also drawing attention to the acid mine drainage. They say that this water level is now reaching close to the surface, 200 meters from the surface. Well, we've been hearing those alarming reports for a long time. And in fact, there was a date at which this acid mine drainage was supposed to decant onto surface close to the Standard Bank in the center of Johannesburg. That date came and went, which shows you, that this water probably spreads underground. You don't know where it's going to get to. Now, yes, acid mine drainage is a very serious situation, but it's also an opportunity. I mean, just like people say that they get drinking water from seawater, it does cost a lot. You could get drinking water from acid mine drainage, but even bigger, you see some of these people collecting off minerals that they sell, which gives them quite a lot of money. Some of these things that they do, I know that the state wanted to take out the potassium, and they have. In Germiston, they do that from the acid mine drainage. They've got a big plant there, the Department of Water Affairs, on the old ERPM site. So the mine gives the land and the government builds the structure. Many people feel they spend too much money there, and they're getting potassium, which there's no real demand for. And they should have gone for the other minerals which sell at high prices. So I think it's good that the spotlight is being shone on this. What can we do? Where are the threats? Where are the opportunities? Let's deal with both. And we've got to walk on both sides of the road here, because South Africa is now walking on the side of the road of the illegal miner. You can see some of them are becoming legitimate in various parts of the world, and they also in the formal miner. And both of those have got to be in the rule of law, otherwise we're in trouble. But we can see that they're stretching out and trying to cooperate, which is always very difficult. Hopefully they'll reach some solution.
And earlier this year, the Amadiba Crisis Committee brought a case against the DMR and an Australian company, TEM, over mining rights. What's going on there? Yeah,
that's a very interesting outcome, because the High Court has said that the informal community has to be consulted and has to give formal and full permission before you can award a mining license. So this really has got people's eyebrows up, because who is the informal community? Where are they exactly? And are they homogenous? Are all of them saying the same thing? Or is there a section that is able to get the ear of the judges, and then the judge says, well, you must get the permission of the informal community without telling you really who the informal community is. So I think Zolobini issue, it needs to be really focused upon. There's so many issues at the moment that need to be focused upon, because we have had a situation where legislation has said that if there is a metal or mineral under the ground that can create wealth or potential to create wealth, people cannot stop you from accessing it. So if you have to go onto someone's land and drill down, you know, you got to be allowed to do that. You might have to approach it from land that you buy eventually, but you in the past, the legislation said, no, this is too important. The economy of South Africa is built on metals and minerals, and the metals and minerals energy complex, so people must be allowed to access this. Now, this judgment is saying, no. You can't get that mining license unless you get the full and formal approval of the informal community. So it's formal from informal. So again, we're walking on both sides of the road here, and somehow we hope that this won't stop legitimate wealth creation, because there's titanium there. People know there's titanium. If you go along to Richards Bay Minerals, you'll see that the modern way of mining those beaches is that they mine, they extract, and they rehabilitate so fast. And when I went down to Richards Bay Minerals, I thought, are you in the business of mining or are you a nursery? Because they're growing the vegetation again. They're trying to put it back where it was. It even looks better to me than it was at the start. So that can create a win-win-win, because if you allow those miners in, they rehabilitate fast, they've got a finite horizon, they're out of there. So you've still got the benefit of the titanium, which when they sell it, they bring in foreign exchange. When they mine with a profit, they give in tax, they give in royalties. They also attract the foreign investment, which is all things we want, and they create jobs. So is an informal community that we can't even see, don't know who they are they stopping wealth creation? And shouldn't this wealth creation permeate throughout the country? And are they stopping that? It seems like that's the case at the moment.
And moving on to Gold One, they have officially launched their 100 million rand plant expansion project.
Now, Gold One interests me because this again is in the middle of a residential area. You know, there are people all around there. Now, do you call those people because they got houses and formally set up places? I mean, you know, on the East Rand, and you go out there and you see, look, there are people all over the place, but they're informal, suburban type of settlements. Are they also the informal community? Must they now say, no, they own that, or have they got the full say around that? We didn't hear a beep out of those people. You know, Modder, the area Modder East, I think one of our leading mining executives, he bought a property out at Springs, and he and his wife were sitting on the veranda, and they looked out and they saw these exploration drilling going on. And he walked out there and he said, well, what are you guys drilling for? And they said, no, you know that when mining took place here over the last 100 years, they left out some of the reefs. So there are some reefs under there with gold in that nobody's ever touched. So of course they then decided, hey, we're going to do this Gold One. Eventually it was sold off to the Chinese, and now we see it's being run by a highly experienced, you know, person who has been through the mill in South Africa. I mean, when you look at his CV, this guy, it shows you that there are highly skilled mining people around that can actually still be put to work to create wealth. And there you see him getting gold out there, and he's saying, no, not only that reef, we're going to take the lower grade reef and we're expanding this operation. And you know, it's a moderately sized gold operation, but it's good for that region, you know, and it's good for jobs, and it's like 250 jobs. We need every job we can get. We need every bit of expansion we can get for the engineering industry, and we don't see those formal settlers complaining. So what is happening here with the informal community? They seem to be very demanding at the moment, and also divided. And we've seen other informal situations in the platinum region of Rustenburg, where suddenly you'll have a leader of a community, you'll do an agreement with him. In this case that I'm thinking of, that leader died, his son took over, bought himself a whole lot of Rolex watches that he rolled along his arm, and a whole lot of cars that he used to do wheel spins around the place, And he then said, but I don't want to wait for this money. Let's sell these rights and get cash now. So he had an American partner who went along to the IDC, and the IDC then took over, like a ownership of this, and these guys got the cash. And so you think, were they really the community? Where is this money gone? So it's a very vague way of doing things, I think, and there needs to be some solid thought that the community are the South African people. We are the community. Because if you go in and do that, somehow along the line, you're getting a fraction of benefit from the tax. You're getting a fraction of benefit from the factories moving. You're getting royalties. You're getting foreign exchange. We are the community. And I think that we must start arriving at a mentality that the community is really much bigger than those few people there who are normally divided anyway.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries.